You can call me Arnold, you can call me Schwarzenegger, you can call me the Austrian Oak, you can call me Schwarzi, you can call me Arnie, but don't ever, ever call me a self-made man. But this is so important for you to understand. I didn't make it that far on my own. I mean, to accept that credit or that medal would discount every single person that has helped me to get here today, that gave me advice, that made an effort, that gave me the time, that lifted me up when I fell. And it gives the wrong impression that we can do it alone. None of us can. The whole concept of the self-made man or woman is a myth. Now I know you're going to say, look, we have read so many stories about you, and we saw documentaries where they talk about that you are the model of the American dream and that you are the perfect example of the self-made man. Well, let me tell you, I have seen and heard and read those stories myself. I enjoy reading them, but the fact of the matter is, it is not the whole story. I would have never made it in my life without the help. I happen to be someone, for instance, that believes in God. I know I wouldn't be here without my parents, creating me, nurturing me, feeding me, changing my diapers, loving me, hugging me, and all that. And then later on, when I went to school, there were the teachers. And then there were the mentors, the coaches. And then my mother was there in the afternoon helping me with my homework and with tutoring. And then in the evening, my father was there helping me in sports, coaching us in soccer. My father taught me about discipline and my love and appreciation for sports. And he gave me my first great advice by saying, whatever you do, Arnold, be useful. So you also read so many times that I decided from one day to the next to become a bodybuilding champion, and I started training 5 hours a day, and then I became the youngest Mr. Universe ever. Well, it is true. But the fact of the matter is, it's not the whole story, because if I wouldn't have met a lifeguard at the lake where I grew up, and some bodybuilders that introduced me to weight training, and they taught me the first chin-up on a branch of a tree by that lake, and that eventually introduced me also to a weightlifting club locally, where the coaches taught me about powerlifting and weightlifting and bodybuilding. They helped me, and they nurtured me, they pushed me. And then eventually I saw a magazine with Reg Park on the cover. It said, Mr. Universe becomes Hercules. There was Reg Park in a Hercules pose on the cover. I bought that magazine and I read the story from the front to the end cover. And let me tell you something. I read exactly how he trained 5 hours a day, and how he became a champion, Mr. Universe, 3 times, and how he went to America. And then he was discovered into the movies, Hercules movies. Well, when I read that, I found my vision. And let me tell you, the most important thing in life is to have vision, to know exactly where you're going. I found my vision. And that magazine, Reg Park, gave me my blueprint for my life. And 5 years later, after training 5 hours a day, just like him, and doing his exercises, I became, through his help and his inspiration, the youngest Mr. Universe ever. And this is what made then Joe Weider invite me to America, to give me the opportunity to train in Gold's Gym and to go and get me a little apartment. I came over here with absolutely nothing. It was his help. And then in Gold's Gym, there it was a magical place with all the champions, Mr. Americas, Mr. World, Mr. Universe. Everyone was training their powerlifters, Olympic champions, and so on. And they helped me change from an amateur champion to a professional champion. And after that, I won champion after championship. I was 7 times Mr. Olympia, you heard it all. And became the greatest bodybuilder of all times, according to the Bodybuilding magazine in 1975. Now, this is just with all of the help. I would not have made any of that by myself. So this is why I don't believe in the self-made man. And even when it comes to show business, it was the same thing. I mean, you read the stories that Schwarzenegger decided from one day to the next to retire from bodybuilding and to go and become an actor. And in no time, he did Conan the Barbarian and Terminator and Commander and so on. Well, it is true, but it is only half of the story. Because the reality of it is, with a lot of help, I wouldn't have made it. First of all, it would have been fun to make it that easy and to be that easy. But it was very, very difficult to get into the movies. Very difficult. And only because I had help, I could get in. And this is why I always say thank you to the people that helped me along the way, and not ever think that I'm a self-made man, because there's 280 people that work on a movie that make you look great on that screen. So how can I say I'm a self-made man? And I have to say that it is important to acknowledge that, because people make it always sound that you did all this yourself. I didn't. I did it with a lot of help. Yes, I was determined. Yes, I never listened to the naysayers. Yes, I had a great vision. Yes, I had the fire in the belly and all of those things, but I didn't do it without the help. And the reason why I want you to understand that is because as soon as you understand that you are here because of a lot of help, then you also understand that now is time to help others. That's what this is all about. You got to help others. Don't just think about yourself. Help others. As my father-in-law, Sergeant Shriver, said at Yale University commencement speech, just like I'm speaking right now here. But he said, Sergeant Shriver, so you know, he was the guy that created the Peace Corps, the Job Corps, legal aid to the poor, and all this extraordinary human being under the Johnson and Kennedy administration. And so he said to the students, he said, tear down this mirror. Tear down this mirror that makes you always look at yourself. And you will be able to look beyond this mirror and see the millions of people that need your help. And let me tell you something, when I heard that, it all made sense to me. That we have to go out and help. And this is why I got involved in Special Olympics, to be the international coach of Special Olympics, and then eventually became the chairman of the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports. And then I traveled through all 50 states to promote health and fitness, and then eventually started after-school programs. And now we are in 48 different cities, providing after-school programs for over 100,000 kids and all this. So, I mean, it is, to me, was very important to give back. And also to go, every time I travel around the world, to go to military bases and to visit our brave men and women that save us, that protect us, to say thank you to them anywhere in the world that I travel. So it is important to recognize that. So all I'm saying is, it is my challenge to you today to go ahead and to celebrate your accomplishments. And you should. This commencement is a great success, and each of you earned your diplomas. But at some point, take a break from the celebration, away from the Instagrams and Snapchat, and think about all of the people that helped you. Because remember, in the end, we are not going to be remembered for how much we made, but for how much we have given. Make sure that it is not about me, that it is about we. Turn the me into we. And I guarantee you that you can change the world. Thank you very much, all of you Cougars. Thank you.